favourite legends. I'm about to show you what I cook at night when I'm feeling like a bit of cake, but there are only two of us in the house. I'm not making some big ass cake that's going to feed who knows how many and go stale. So I'm going to show you my chocolate peanut butter mug cake. Empty now, but let's get started. Okay, so first we start with some plain flour, and we only need 3 tablespoons of this. Now this cake is actually going to feed 2, unless you're really, really hungry and you use this instead of dinner, then I recommend that you either separate it into 2 mugs or you, I don't know, eat it all yourself instead of dinner. Then we need sugar, 2 tablespoons of sugar. I like using dark brown sugar in almost everything. So I'm going to use this. You can use white sugar, granulated, caster, it doesn't really matter. It says 2 tablespoons, so let's put 2 tablespoons of sugar approximately. If you don't like it too sweet, you can always reduce the amount of sugar that you put. Cocoa powder. So I use organic cacao powder. Don't ask me the real difference. Supposedly it's better. It's got a nice rich flavour, so I just decant. That's why it's in this particular one. So 1.5 tablespoons of that. As you can see, I'm a bit generous when it comes to cocoa or cacao powder. So that's cacao powder done. Then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. So baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon. So I've only got 1/2 teaspoon here, so I'm just going to go 1/2 of the half and pop it right in there. Okay, so I don't like having a million implements in the house, so I just use a fork to stir this up. These are the dry ingredients, so we're going to stir all that up first, make sure that it's mixed well before we put the wet ingredients in here. You'll have to excuse my videography, I'm doing it just on my iPhone. Okay, that's all mixed well, so let's get to the wet ingredients. So for wet ingredients, we've got 3 tablespoons milk, so just get going on. I'm just going to make a well in the centre, make it a bit easier. So 3 tablespoons milk, 1, 2, 3 tablespoons milk. Here comes the tricky part, and I'll tell you what the tricky part about this is. We need 1.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil and a tablespoon of peanut butter. Now, if I put the peanut butter, it's going to stick to the measuring spoon. So I'm using olive oil, so I only need the 1.5 of olive oil, so there's 1.5. Now, the olive oil is acting as a nice base for me to be able to allow the peanut butter to slip off. So let's go in. I'm using Simply Nuts, bigger Australian product, just peanuts. We love it. It's nice because it's also got crunch in it. So I'm using a crunchy version. You can use a smooth version. Look at that, just plopped right off. And for anything that doesn't, you use the finger or the hand that your mother gave you, and you just get that off. Okay. Now we just mix it until it's smooth. Mix, 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 mix. It's going to be a little bit runny, and that's okay because it's going to be a little bit gooey if you wait and see the result at the end of this. Okay, so that's mixed right through. Haven't made too much of a mess. Okay. Again, we're going to use Mum's spatch. I love that. I don't, as I said, don't like having a million implements, so there we go. All we need to do now is 1 minute and 10 seconds in the microwave, and we'll come back after that's done. So I don't put a lid on this one. So 1, 10, done. Do you remember the days we used to go to the office? Sure, there's something wrong with standing in front of the microwave, but I just want to show you how much this cake is going to rise, this mug cake. So let's have a look and see if we can, yeah, here it goes, look at this. That's awesome. Now it will deflate when it comes out and it smells fantastic. All we need now is some nice vanilla ice cream, or some whipped cream, or some heavy cream. Okay, we're ready. Look at that. Yum. This, it's a bit too hot, but let's have a look and see. Check that out. Yeah, One thing you could do is you could try and remove it unsuccessfully and serve it up with some yummy ice cream. Gold. Okay, I'm going to put the ingredients in the last slide, so keep watching.